He almost lost everything, and now Zwelakhe is walking straight back into the fire because love, apparently, does not know how to be careful. If you have been following this show even for 1 week, you already know that nothing at Kwababa ever stays calm for long, and this stretch of episodes is proof of exactly that. Welcome back to the channel, family. Grab your tea because today we are unpacking everything that has been building up around Zwelakhe, Bahumi, and this Lobola process that refuses to go smoothly. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because we cover Kwababa every single week, and trust me, you do not want to miss a single update from this house. Let's set the scene properly before we go into the juicy part. For weeks now we have watched Zwelakhe carry a heaviness that was not just about money or business, it was about identity. Ever since that Sangoma told him that his people are looking for him, something shifted in this man. He has been walking around Kwababa like someone who knows a storm is coming but does not yet know from which direction it will hit. And now that storm has a name, and that name is the paternity question that just will not go away. The rumors that Zwelakhe may not be a true blood Mackay's have moved from whispers in the kitchen to something that is now sitting right in the middle of his relationship with Bahumi, and that is exactly where we pick up this week. What makes this stretch of the story so painful to watch is that Zwelakhe is trying to do the right thing at the worst possible time. He wants to move forward with Lobola for Bahumi, he wants to give her family the honor and the process they deserve, and yet behind him his own house is quietly falling apart. Dumisani has not been sitting still either. If you know this character even a little, you know he does not waste an opportunity, and the fact that Zwelakhe's confidence has been shaken is exactly the kind of opening Dumisani has been waiting for. Word is that Dumisani is preparing to use this paternity secret as a weapon, not just to hurt Zwelakhe emotionally but to try and strip him of his standing in the family and in the business his late father built. That is the kind of cruelty that makes your blood boil, because Zwelakhe has spent this entire story trying to honor a legacy that might not even be biologically his to carry, and somehow that makes him even more determined to protect it. Then there is Mombokosi, and honestly, my heart breaks for her a little bit every time she is on screen, even when she is clearly hiding something big. She has been pleading in private, almost as if she is speaking to someone who is no longer with us, and that alone tells you how deep the secret runs. A woman does not carry guilt like that for a small lie. Whatever Mombokosi knows about Zwelakhe's real father, it is heavy enough that she would rather bury it than face the family with the truth. We have seen her try to steer conversations away from the topic, we have seen her flinch whenever Zwelakhe's paternity comes up, and now it feels like the walls are closing in on her whether she wants them to or not. Mokumolo's guilt is also creeping closer to the surface, and once that woman starts talking, and we all know she loves to talk, there is no telling how much of this secret spills out before Zwelakhe is even ready to hear it. Now let's talk about the Lobola itself, because this is really what everyone wants to know. Despite everything crashing around him, Zwelakhe has chosen to move forward. He is not waiting for the dust to settle, he is not waiting for Mombokosi to finally open her mouth, he is choosing Bahumi and choosing to fight for their future even while his own foundation is cracking. There is something almost defiant about this decision. It is as if Zwelakhe is saying that no matter whose blood runs through him, the man he has become and the woman he loves are not up for negotiation. Bahumi has been his anchor through all of this. Every time he looks like he is about to spiral, she is right there pulling him back from the edge, and honestly, their relationship has become one of the few steady things in a household full of secrets and sabotage. But of course, this being Kwababa, nothing can simply be beautiful without a shadow following right behind it. Dumisani is not the kind of man who lets a Lobola celebration happen in peace if there is a way to ruin it. There are strong signs that he is preparing something that could destroy the process before the negotiations even properly begin. Whether that means exposing the paternity secret in front of both families, or finding some other way to humiliate Zwelakhe publicly, we do not know yet, but knowing this character, subtlety has never been his strength. What we do know is that his ambition for the company has not cooled down even slightly, and a wounded, distracted Zwelakhe is far easier to push aside than a confident one. Meanwhile, over on the Motang side, Bahumi's family is watching all of this unfold with their own doubts. Solomon has already made his position known before, standing firmly behind Zwelakhe and Bahumi's relationship, but even the most supportive father can only shield his daughter for so long once outside chaos starts knocking on the door. If Dumisani succeeds in dragging the paternity scandal into the Lobola negotiations, it will not just embarrass Zwelakhe, it could shake the trust the Motang family has been building with the Mackay's household from the very beginning. And let's be honest, Lobola negotiations on this show have never once gone the way anyone planned, so at this point we should expect at least one dramatic interruption before vows or even a proper handshake between the families. Let's shift for a moment to Mloba, because his storyline has been quietly running alongside all of this, and it is about to collide with the main drama in a big way. Mloba has been trying to move on with his life, trying to prove that he can stand on his own outside the shadow of the business his family expected him to inherit. He has found new work, his personal life is finding a rhythm, and yet there is still this pull back toward the idea that he is owed something as the family's Inkosana. What is interesting is that Mloba and Zwelakhe now find themselves connected through a new business deal, one that Dumisani has already sniffed out. If Dumisani decides to use that business connection as leverage against both of them at once, we could be looking at a much bigger family war than anyone expected, one that pulls Mloba out of his quiet rebuilding phase and straight back into the chaos he was trying to escape. And can we talk about Musa for a second, because that boy has been on a roller coaster that never seems to stop. Watching him lose control of pieces of his life one after another has been difficult, especially knowing how much pressure he is under to prove himself worthy in a household that keeps comparing him to Zwelakhe. There is a real possibility that Musa becomes another pawn in Dumisani's plan, whether he realizes it or not. When a family is this fractured, the younger ones often get pulled into battles that were never theirs to fight, and Musa feels like exactly the kind of person who could get caught in the crossfire of this paternity storyline without ever asking to be involved. Now here is the part that I think deserves its own conversation entirely, and that is the question everyone keeps typing in the comments. Who is Zwelakhe's real father? The show has been incredibly careful about how it drops these hints, and that tells me the writers know exactly how big this reveal is going to be once it finally lands. We have heard whispers connecting this mystery to old tensions between Mambokosi and other members of the extended family, tensions that go back further than anyone currently on screen seems willing to explain. There is bad blood there, real bad blood, the kind that does not exist without a serious betrayal sitting underneath it. My personal theory, and I want to hear yours in the comments, is that this secret involves someone much closer to the family than we think, someone whose name gets mentioned in passing but never explained, which on a show like this usually means they matter a whole lot more than they seem to right now. What makes this even more tense is that Zwelakhe himself is not sitting back waiting for the truth to come to him anymore. There have been strong indications that he is done being patient, done watching Mambokosi dodge every question, and is preparing to take matters fully into his own hands. A DNA test has been floated as the next logical step, and if that happens, and honestly it feels like a when rather than an if at this point, the results could confirm what a lot of viewers have already suspected, that Zwelakhe is not blood related to the siblings he grew up calling brothers and sisters. Can you imagine carrying your father's legacy your entire life only to discover the man may not even be your biological father at all? That kind of revelation does not just break a person, it forces them to completely rebuild their sense of who they are, and I think that is exactly the emotional territory this show is preparing to take us into. There is also this ancestral thread running underneath everything, the idea that Zwelakhe's real ancestors are searching for him under a name that was never truly his. If that turns out to be true, it adds a whole spiritual weight to this storyline that goes beyond gossip and family drama. It becomes about identity in the deepest sense, about a man who has spent his life honoring a lineage that spiritually was never fully his to honor, at least not in the way he believed. That is heavy stuff for a weekday telenovela, and it is exactly why this show has become must-watch television for so many of us. Let's not forget Slendile in all of this either, because her reluctance to open up about her own history is starting to feel connected to the larger mystery, even if the show has not spelled it out directly yet. When someone refuses that firmly to talk about where they came from, it is really because the truth is boring. Every time Zwelakhe tries to press for answers about his background, he is met with resistance, and every time that resistance grows, it feels less like stubbornness and more like fear. Fear of what the truth might do to the family once it is finally out in the open. So where does that leave us as we head deeper into these episodes? Zwelakhe is moving forward with Lobola out of love and out of a refusal to let his uncertain past dictate his future with Bahumi. Dumisani is circling with a plan that could blow everything apart at the worst possible moment. Mombokosi is holding on to a secret that is clearly eating her alive, one that seems to trace back to a death and a betrayal the show has not fully revealed yet. Lobola is trying to build something new for himself while getting quietly pulled back into family business through his deal with Zwelakhe. Musa is still finding his footing under pressure he did not ask for. And somewhere in the middle of it all sits a paternity mystery that is about to reshape how every single one of these characters sees themselves and each other. If there is one thing I love about this show, it is that it never lets the romance exist without consequence. Zwelakhe and Bahumi's love story is genuinely sweet, and in a different kind of show it would be allowed to simply be beautiful, but here it is constantly being tested against family loyalty, hidden histories, and other people's ambition. That tension is exactly what keeps us coming back night after night, because you never know which relationship is going to survive the next revelation and which one is going to shatter completely. I want to hear from you now. Do you think Zwelakhe should go ahead with the Lobola despite everything hanging over his head, or should he pause and demand the truth from Mombokosi first before dragging Bahumi's family into a situation that could turn into public humiliation? And who do you think is really Zwelakhe's biological father? Drop your theories in the comments below, because some of you have been eerily accurate in past weeks and I am always here for a good debate in the comment section. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe if you have not already, and share this with someone in your family group chat who has also been losing sleep over the storyline. We will be back with more updates as this drama continues to unfold, so until next time, take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.